Before we get to example 6 on page 390, we need to talk about the percent equation, which is located just above example 6 on page 390. It says that the percent times the base equals the amount. This is a very powerful equation that we can use. Notice there's no addition or subtraction in this. This is purely multiplication and an amount here. So the operations we'll be using are multiplication and division if we're being asked for something on the left-hand side, one of the two items here, and we're being given something on the right-hand side. Now the key for us when we read the equations, because they're going to be in English, to determine what is the percent, what is the base, and what is the amount, is the word of. Of, or what follows after of, is the base. Always the base. The percent is fairly obvious. It's going to say something percent. But what's the base and what's the amount can be confusing. But if you follow the simple rule, as in whatever comes after the of is the base, then you should be able to set your equations up just fine. So let's go ahead and look at example A of this particular example. What is 35% of 140? As you can see, what follows the of is 140, meaning 140 is the base. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to put 35% here, except this time we want to use it as a decimal. A lot of times when we're doing math, we don't want to use the percent part of it. So remember how we're going to do this. Either take 35 and divide it by 100, or we're going to take that decimal and move it over. In our case, I'm just going to move the decimal over, and that's going to be 0.35. We're going to multiply that times 140, and this is going to give us the amount here. So we bring up our trusty calculator here, clear any results that may be lingering. We take 0.35, and we multiply it times 140. And the answer is 49. Let's move on to part B of this example. And part B says 63 is 18% of what? Now, what follows the of in this case is the unknown. In other words, what they're saying is we don't know what the base is. That's what we're trying to figure out. The percent, once again, is obvious. It's 18%. In this case, the 63 is the amount that's been given. So what they're telling us is this. They're telling us that 18% or 0.18 times, don't know, let's call that X for right now, equals 63. Now some people may not like seeing X and X together, but X means multiplication, or we can make that a dot if you don't like that too. It means the same thing. So let's put a big dot here instead. Just be careful if you do use double X's like that. It can be confusing, but what we're saying is 0.18 times X is equal to 63. So how are we going to solve for this? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to divide both sides by 0.18. Now 0.18 on the left divided by 0.18 basically means that this and this cross each other off, meaning that X is going to equal whatever 63 divided by 0.18 is. So we bring up the calculator. Let's clear this, and we'll say 63 divided by 0.18. And it says 350 is our answer. And so that's what we'll go ahead and write down, just so we have it somewhere down here, or actually over here. We'll say the answer is equal to 350. So 350 times 18%, or 0.18, is going to give us 63. Moving down to part C of this example, what we see that we have is 288 is what percent of 640? So 288 is what percent of 640? Again, what follows the of is 640 this time. So our equation is going to be that we don't know the percent. Again, let's call that X, times 288 is our amount, 640 is the base, because again it follows the of, equals 288. And just like in the last one, we're going to divide on the left the extra spot here. So we're going to divide this 640 out. And so our answer is going to equal whatever 288 divided by 640 is. And then we're going to have to also do a little percentage translation to that. But let's go ahead and clear what we've got here and say 288 divided by 640. So it says 0.45. And once again, since we're already on the calculator, we'll just say times 100 to give it our percentage. And in this case, it's going to be 45%. And so let's put that in as our answer down here. 45%. And there we have it. We just did example 6 on page 390, translating the percent times base equals amount equation for a couple of things.